get high or wanna get by, or wanna get sky fries like a wolf.
Hello everyone. Tonight we're looking at a game between the legendary chess master known as South African Wolf on lichess and Paul Gluckman and FM with a rating of 1943. Keith with a rating of 2148. And actually this was also played at the South African Closed Chess Championships Open, and with that contradictory name. And I think this was a good event for Keith generally, maybe not getting as many points as he hoped for, but if you look at the marked improvement between beginning of 2019, the Capablanca Festival for instance, he actually managed a few draws against very strong players, and he's establishing himself among the elites of the country, definitely a force to be reckoned with. And Keith has got the white pieces in this situation, and he's gone bishop g5. They are in a Grunfeld, and bishop g5 kind of provokes this move knight e4, which is kind of theory, and now your bishop and knight are being forked. So, okay, you need to do something about this bishop. So simply bishop f4. So the bishop just moves a second time. So it's kind of like going here once, but having black included this move. So now black reacts to his knight having ended up on e4. So just simply knight takes c3 and now b takes c3. And there's still this tension in the center, but very much a drawish line for both sides. e3 castles, knight f3, and black is a bit faster off of the bat with castling, but the center is still pretty close, so white is comfortable. Just don't go d takes c5 because of this ugly fork. You don't want to allow that. So just simply c takes d5 and queen takes d5. And now bishop e2. Just some developing, and this is a very drawish Grunfeld line they're in. And now only this pawn is traded down. And c takes d4. It's actually pretty relevant to say that after queen takes d5, bishop e2, trading down this pawn immediately is a way to get down the queens as well, if black wants to. So I'm not. It's just a bit of a transposition of what happened in the game. So we have this line, castle c takes d4, and queen a4, queen a5. Black's trying to get these queens off. Of course, black doesn't have too many weaknesses, and the game can still be very tactical with those queens on the board. Just rook fc1 here, and they're both still playing theory. The queens are off now, and rook fc8. We have bishop b5, and bishop d7 is actually a novelty, just defending that knight. It was also possible just to go knight b4, but nothing wrong with putting the bishop there. And now actually h3. It could have maybe been useful to go h3. Move order doesn't really make too much of a difference, but h3 is useful. We've got a flight square, also inhibiting this bishop from black from going here again if he wants to. But just development. The game's very slow now, and positional a6 and bishop c4. Eyeing this weakness on f7 for now, and now knight b4. Finally going there, we have knight g5, aiming at this f7 pawn, and both sides are still kind of feeling the waters about how to start moving forwards. Knight g5 is quite a nice move because after bishop e8, defending the pawn, you don't want to move the rook from the file. Keith actually had the move knight e6. You don't lose any material, you actually just win the game, getting that rook with check. So knight e6, the knight's actually defended, and you're getting pretty much what happened in the game. Keith went knight e4 and ended up going to c5, but you might still have the possibility of taking the bishop if you want to, or go for a different type of exchange game. So this could have been a way to keep options open, but this was definitely something he considered. I suspect that knight e4 was the safer way of getting to roughly the same things he expected would happen in the game in any case. So simply bishop c6. This could have been the same reaction to knight e6 as well, just bishop c6 and then knight c5. We have bishop d5, and it feels like black is comfortable just to go into this endgame. Remember, after the whole structure changed, white has got this pawn he can possibly make passed in the center, while black has an outside passed pawn if he can play correctly. So black might even be comfortable going into the endgame. We have knight d7, trying to be tactical. Also possible, but this was a bit deep, was rook a4, trying to negotiate a way to get this pawn to c5, and then you've definitely got a way of making one of these two pawns passed. So thing is, after bishop takes c4, just b takes c4, and it's pretty simple. You've managed. So you're kind of forcing this, but then you need to spot the following line after a5, rook b1, and e5. E5 is actually the tricky move to find in this line because it's removing the defender of the knight. Sorry, not knight takes. So simply just d takes e5. This is why rook b1 is also necessary to find in your line. So if rook takes c5, you've got rook b takes b4. And I actually think white has got decent chances again in this game. With this pawn feeling like the biggest weakness in the line now. Even though you're still far away from making a passed pawn as white. But simply after knight d7, the move rook c6 was played. And I remember we were watching this game, the whole essay online. We've got a chess group, WhatsApp group, and we were watching this, and well, the computer was recommending the following tactic. And maybe just pause the video and see if you can find the tactic. Okay, so the tactic is knight b8, and this wins the exchange. The point is that the rook cannot leave the defense of the 8th rank now. So let's say, for instance, he goes for rook e6. Something like just bishop takes d5 should be close to game over. You shouldn't go for the material in this line because this is just like a mate in 4. Black is getting crushed here. So the rook really needs to retreat back to the 8th in this line, and now white can go for bishop takes d5. So it's just about switching the order a bit. If rook takes, simply takes, and then you've got the same issues with the back rank. So the only thing recommended here is to give up the exchange like this, and after this captures, just simply rook takes and something like bishop e4. So this wasn't played in the game. Pretty forcing way of getting the rooks off. Something similar was played, but now we realize the importance of getting the rook onto the square c8 before taking this bishop. So bishop takes d5 first, and now black is actually completely equal again. Rook takes c1, rook takes c1, and now just knight takes d5. And this was Keith's idea, bishop b8, but simply f5, and black is okay. And they do continue. It does feel after this moment that black is completely okay, but then you realize that black might have a more difficult time playing with these two pawns. If white manages to trade one of these two pawns off for this one, then he's going to have a brilliant game where he can maybe try to work with this one passed pawn he has. Now the move rook a7 was played, and rook a6 was definitely better, just holding on to this pawn. You can't really kick away the rook. Knight b8 removes the piece that you're attacking with, and now just rook a7, and it's not clear how white is getting this piece back or doing something aggressive. Like rook b8 can follow soon. Instead, in the game, rook a7 gave up this pawn immediately, and he didn't. Black didn't estimate the value of his queenside pawn enough, holding on to it. Knight takes b6. And maybe he thought he had rook b8 to pin the knight, and then realized that Keith is comfortable playing with the following tactic. Either one of these knight moves, and after rook takes, just the check. And then you're still playing with the same advantage. And this pawn is actually very weak as well, far away from being defended. So rook b7 wasn't played, just knight c3, immediately kicking the rook away, rook c5. And now white just brings his rook back to c2. And knight c4 is a clever way of trading down these two pawns. And now white has achieved what he wanted to achieve. He's got an outside passed pawn. And just enjoy the following technique. How white just plays forward, and there's nothing black can do now. His pieces, I mean, he's already got quite an active king, and the pawns roll quite naturally now. You'll see. Rook c7 check, and now, from this moment on, Keith plays absolutely perfect chess. Just moving his pieces up together with the pawns until the advantage just grows so much that I think it's after this move that's already like +4 from a +1 situation. So, and there's another pawn seeing the end of the game, e4, and king c4. And these checks don't do anything. Keith is tactically quite aware, and just slow progress. He's actually also moving pretty fast here. not taking more than 3-4 seconds to move. And he's got this under control. He's got so many passed pawns, they're all in the center, coordinating with the king. And he sets up this situation where he's actually pretty close to checkmate. He just needs to get rid of that bishop. And so he does so. He walks into some more moves by his opponent, and his opponent just gives up the piece. But you can see there's no stopping this. Not one of the moves on the board are going to stop Keith's checkmate, and simply rook e7 checkmate. A beautiful checkmate, a small advantage which he grew from a deep line. One line he could have maybe used a bit differently, but that is, everyone can still improve, and he's showing remarkable strength here, taking out a peer very comfortably, moving swiftly and confidently here towards the end, and showing us a beautiful checkmate. I enjoyed the Wolves game, and I hope you did too. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoyed the Wolves theme song. Thank you for watching.
Wanna get high as a wolf. Wanna get high as a wolf. Wanna get high.